He has also been talking to others in France, Germany, Denmark, and Sweden. And he's saying that now that the Africa Cup of Nations has been moved, because this is something that we are going to say before we get into international, football, foreign football, the fact that CAF has deferred the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers to September. So the coach is saying that the World Cup, for Africa, for CAF, for CAF countries have been deferred to September. And the coach is saying that they had prepared 3 friendly matches. Again, we give credit to FAS and its president, Andrew Kamanga, which they were supposed to play before Mauritania and Tunisia. But he's saying that now, according to him, he's saying we are now switching to plan B, that will see us playing some friendly matches to remain competitive during the June FIFA window. That's what the coach has said. And on Fashion signing for Rangers, he says, after Fashion signed in Rangers, we expect that Patson Daka and Enoch Mwepu will also move to bigger clubs. And he says that, but moreover, other players playing out need to be competitively resettled in better competitive environments. People have cried about Malumo, who came. You remember that Malumo boy? He is at a team called Ireland. So what the coach is saying is that some of those players need to be found where they are going to be better settled, better competitive environments. So there are so many players that he will be speaking to. Some of them are playing at lower levels, and you cannot call all of them just because they are playing outside this particular country. And he ends by saying that we need also several of our local players to go abroad so that we do not just talk of the World Cup, but have players that can compete competitively at the very highest level, ready to make the team, a team that will fight, outfight, play and outplay to become World Cup material. And he says, this is an unbelievable job to be done, and with sleepless nights by him ahead and ultra hardworking days, we are already planning on how we are going to go to the World Cup.
Okay, and then Pat G. Chishala says, Iwe muzo pakisa Kongole, we love it.
I'm telling you. So one man's cup of
you know what I mean?
Cup of poison.
Yeah, exactly. And then another one, the gift Chilongama says, watching from Dola, I like your Congo language. Merci gift.
Exactly. Yeah, so we are not going to be overdoing it, but we always find the Kamandan where we can, because we also love to laugh. But also happy, you know. So
Pat G's one way. Crazy stuff. Let me start with Wakawa. Chelsea versus Real Madrid. Well, you said it. You didn't really see Madrid making it past Chelsea into the final. You feel vindicated as much as Mfundisi does, I guess. And now it's a final between Man City and Chelsea. Wouldn't be led by that much with Madrid's problems, really. But who would you fancy, really, between the two? We now know the two teams that are playing it out on the 29th of May.
Very clever. You don't, I mean, we always go from history to current affairs. Why are we skipping the history?
Kairika time, nakasera, saraka time, boss. 12-40.
Very clever.
We didn't see that. We didn't see that. We didn't see nothing yet.
You didn't see nothing yet.
We didn't see nothing yet.
Yeah, because we ask you on the Man City versus Chelsea league game now. You know what I mean? As being a precursor to the final on the 29th of May.
We ain't seen nothing yet.
We ain't seen nothing yet. But first, let me have Mr. Carver, just really comment. All right, it's Manchester City playing against Chelsea in the final of the UEFA Champions League with I know with the UEFA president Alexander Cheferin smiling and all excited. Cheferin, you know what I mean?
I mean, Real Madrid.
Because the ringleader is out of the competition now.
Real Madrid's season hasn't been, where it is most of the time. They started the season very slow. They equally started the Champions League very slow. They literally scraped through the qualifiers to get into the next round. But they had a very easy path, so to say, having been pitted against an equally weak side, Liverpool. But when they got to Chelsea, they met their match, and Chelsea were equal to the task. Thomas made sure that he rode over Madrid, And so it's Chelsea versus Man City in the final of the UEFA Champions League, or English final as predicted by Ramoso. I was rooting for PSG in the final. But Ramoso called it right, and we will see an all-English final. And there's actually a team in England that is offering their stadia to the final.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's been a good season for Chelsea, despite a few hiccups, in the build-up. At some point, they had to get rid of their coach, Frank Lampard. I believe he assembled a very, very good side that he failed to use to his advantage. Probably lack of experience. But when Thomas took over, he's coming with a whole lot of experience. Was in the final last, season in the Champions League against Bayern Munich. So it will be. I feel that he feels he has what it takes to go all the way and win it. But you know how Pep Guardiola is. He always has something brewing up his sleeves. So it will be a very interesting final. I'm on the fence, so may the best team win.
Not fair enough. Hope you'll be decided by the 29th of May.
I'm on the fence. I'll just be enjoying. I will have a lot of popcorn and enjoying myself. Whichever team wins, that will be fine for me.
I see. All right. So now we have a dress rehearsal of the final itself. When Chelsea play Manchester City, almost said United, at the Etihad. What a game we have on our hands. You seem to know how to read into Thomas Tuchel's tactical nous or mind. What are you reading into this young German's mind ahead of Man City this weekend?
Well, firstly, I think it's going to be like a dress rehearsal for the Champions League final. And Abakawe has already set the tone. Aston Villa had offered their Villa ground for the possible venue, because that final is set for Istanbul. In Turkey. But there's been an escalation of COVID-19 cases in Turkey. And I've got a good friend of mine, Ian Milimo, good friend, elder brother from the University of Zambia, who is there working for the UN. And we are always,
background, how is it there?
Oh, it's bad, It's one of the worst hit countries.
Like India.
It's been the European country that has been hit worst at present is Turkey, and the numbers are escalating. And he was telling me that he's fearful. I was just assuring him to say, look, you need to have confidence in God and believe in God, much as all this is happening, so that you can be safe. But Villa indeed had indicated, and as of yesterday, the Transport Secretary in the UK has put Turkey among the red list countries, meaning that if you go to Turkey, you're in the UK, you'll be required to quarantine for about 10 days before you could be...
So these Manchester City players will be in quarantine as long as Chelsea players in 10 days after that game.
And what it means is that it could affect Gareth Southgate and the England national team, because the Champions League final will be just about 15 days away from the start of the Euros. So what that means is that
he only has 5 days.
5 days to prepare. So I understand that the UK government has open talks with UEFA with the possibility of bringing the Champions League final into the UK. But having said that, the dress rehearsal, you have to look at some of the players that have impressed. Personally, I've liked the look of Ruben Dias for Manchester City at the back. He's been rock solid. He's got a bit of Vincent Kompany about him. And if you look at the influence that Virgil van Dijk had on Liverpool, that's what Ruben Dias is bringing. Nobody's talking about John Stones anymore. Being
so Dias.
It's all Dias. And then
how about Antonio Rudiger on the other side of the fence
for Chelsea?
Yes.
Yeah. When it comes to Chelsea, in midweek I was very impressed by Kai Havertz. Remember that he had signed from Germany and he didn't quite settle. But what you must understand is that with the COVID-19 restrictions, this is a young player who has come from Germany, comes into a new environment in England, and he doesn't have any of his family members to be able to give him comfort.
He's a loner.
He's a loner. But he has covered every blade of grass in eliminating Real Madrid, who were very poor on the night. I know that you don't want me to talk about that. And there's so many people that were vouching that we should pleading that don't even show up on the show. So I will not go with my boots into
Studs out.
I mean studs out. Muntu amena lipansi is not worth kungena samusol. If I therefore twaba umuntu ngapona tatuma momufwi. Those are our principles. We can only sympathize with them. And I was very shocked to see Eden Hazard celebrating with Chelsea. Anabua Ibala, Eden Hazard. Which side you was on? If I don't, but look at the influence of Mason Mount for Chelsea. We're trying to analyze the upcoming game, the dress
in a cleverly way.
Yes, but there's also Phil Foden. He's looked brilliant, Phil Foden. And when we're talking about the Sakalas of Zambia, the Computer Mwepus and the Patson Dakas, by the way, they won the Austrian Cup and they're gunning for a double. The league. Patson Daka and Computer Mwepu. In England, they're looking at a prodigious talent in Phil Foden. And some of the things that he's doing with the ball, the way he makes love to the ball, is out of this world. You look at it and Mavo and say, "Ooh, I wish."
The way he caresses the ball.
The way he caresses the ball and makes love to it. It's incredible.
Out of this world.
Out of this world. You are given.
Outrageous.
It's outrageous. He's talented and is beginning to show and he's playing with a swagger. So it's going to be a very tough game to call. Chelsea versus Manchester City. To be honest with you. Tough to call. Mind you, if Manchester City do win this game, possibly they'll be crowned champions. They will be crowned champions.
If they win this
game. And then for Chelsea, that use not Kazikamba Congolese. So Kazikamba Chizungu, we are analyzing British football. For Chelsea, they are still fighting for that elusive top four. Manchester United are sitting pretty in second position, and they appear like they have already qualified for Champions League football. And even if they didn't do that, they still have the UEFA League to look forward to against Villarreal. But Chelsea, West Ham are only 3 points from that Champions League spot. And then Tottenham Hotspurs with the 29-year-old manager, interim manager, and Ryan Mason are not too far from that. And then you have Liverpool, who still are harboring hopes
of playing
in the Champions League football.
It's not yet confirmed.
So it's a very tough game. And those of you who are kundura mwachilanda timulimu mubombo, you call it bombonera? Abu Dhabi. I cannot give you any clues except to say that probably this is going to be a draw. Maybe a draw. But Manchester City will be highly motivated to win this particular one and be crowned champions because of the game that was postponed between Manchester United and Liverpool. If Liverpool had won, then City were going to be crowned champions. So that's how important this particular football match is.
Wow. Okay. Regzon Aleili Shanya, we want more of the Congolese accent.
Tukabwela next week.
Tukabwela tukulanda mo Congolese.
Tukabwela food. Tizabwela mama kamba tibanje.
Tizabwela.
Mama kamba ula kamba bwanje.
Tizabwela.
Ule kamba tuzabwela? Tuzabwela.
Tuzabwela.
Twanyamula na mabegi muli kulu chakulungisha nkoloko. Kende karana lungisha nkoloko. Yakwana na lolesho.
Na lolesho.
Lolesho bamuna 10 50 twaisa studio.
Twala asia tushitena jaribu. Twasua jaribu.
No.
Tuboneke ine kamera. Nice kamera.
Kulia kumbi. We celebrate kubufish. Kulia kumbi the other part eba de basuba.
Abala basuba.
This is tizora.
Tabuta suba.
Amene tachoka tizora.
Okay, twala for makeup artists. Tumwebe wike pana jaribu so that tumoneke nice for the camera.
Mafuta ya jaribu hai. Yabana mayo. Wamba kunyila botolo na bana mimi.
Wamba kunyila botolo
na bana lui. Mafuta yangu ni kwisi.
Kali tulibana bakongo. Tulibana bakongo.
Kuna namo na ule hundi ya lemoneka ya for your old tulemela mafuta tukulila botolo gelo mwana wandi Grace mwana obe Grace tule ya papa miro tulemela mafuta
to send Fair and Lovely
mwana sanda Fair and Lovely ati yandi This is for mommy, daddy.
All right, Leeds United play Tottenham at 13:30 in a few minutes' time, gentlemen. Crystal Palace will be away to Sheffield United at Bramall Lane.
Before we move to the next game, Lorenzo, remember that Leicester City we are hammered by Newcastle United. Yesterday, Friday.
4-2. Goodness me.
Leicester City. You know, Manjenje. It's the new Manjenje.
It's the new Manjenje.
Even last season, they bought it.
They bought it.
And it looked.
And here we are again.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So the Manchester City plays Chelsea at 18:30. Game to watch at the Etihad. Liverpool will be at home to Southampton at 21:15. They're playing against their feeder club.
Yeah.
Technically speaking. Sunday, Wolverhampton Wanderers are at home to Brighton and Hove Albion at the Nolinion. Then Aston Villa at Villa Park, where Bamuzo wants us to play the Champions League. It's Man United visiting Villa Park.
Yeah.
Then West Ham
United.
United.
Somebody said Cavani. Cavani hasn't signed yet.
Okay, it's not yet confirmed.
Not yet confirmed. The intention by the club and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is to have Edinson Cavani sign on for 1 more year. He hasn't signed yet. He hasn't signed yet.
West Ham United play Everton at 17:30. Then the Arsenal will be at home to West Bromwich Albion at 20 hours. Monday Night Football sees Fulham play Burnley at 21 hours Central African time. Quickly switching on to La Liga. It's exciting, gentlemen, because it's a 3-horse race.
Very tight.
For the league title there.
Very tight.
We have an Atletico de Madrid on 74 points.
Yes.
All right, and then Real.
Yes.
And 73 actually. And then Real and Barcelona are tied on 71, but Real have a better head-to-head record than there. So action starts at Estadio de Mendizorroza, where Deportivo Alaves play at home to Levante at 14 hours this afternoon. Then Atletico de Madrid travel to play Barcelona at the Nou Camp.
What a match,
16:15 Central African time.
And Luis Suarez would want to bite Barcelona.
And Barcelona won't just be sleeping to let Atletico Madrid just beat them like that. What's the matter? This is definitely Barcelona for the taking.
Yeah,
it's the Nou Camp.
And therefore, Nangudo, so that they take advantage. Atletico Madrid go in the So
Kafaya. Your Ronald Koeman,
Barcelona,
former defender.
Former defender. What time for Luis Suarez? Ale suma lintwali pa Liverpool. So lelo ale kwa kusuma. Biting Barcelona. Big bite. You take a big bite out of Barcelona, Luis Suarez.
What if you Leo Messi? Messiah.
Yeah. It's a big game to look forward to.
Big game. So that's
a game to look forward
at 16:15 Central African time. So if Atletico de Madrid fail to beat Barcelona, and then Real Madrid beat Sevilla tomorrow at 21 hours at Estadio Alfredo Di Stefano.
What has happened to Santiago Bernabeu?
El Bernabeu is, well, it will be yalaba another new world order. Waingila mu Bernabeu ni shiwafuma mu Madrid Spain.
You know,
waingila mu Kialo Kimbi. Waingila mu Kialo Kimbi. Twala isala no kuisala roof retractable roof abasunu balanda retractable
no bandala mashikafu makwisa
snow ire pona panze
European
Super League
there is no. So where is he going to get the money to reform Santiago Bernabeu for Real Madrid?
Twala senda Mbappe then twala shitisha mashit then twala panga fly kwa mtu
Mukashika pankongol. No Falanga. No Falanga. So we will buy with what? At no kesa lipiranga kwashitisha mashit. Aya kwamba.
Anyway, let me finish the fixtures and we wind up the program. All right, so Cadiz play Huesca at 18:30. Osasuna will be away to Bilbao at the San Mamés Barria. Then Sunday, Getafe play Eibar. Valencia at the Estadio de Mestalla play Real Valladolid. Celta de Vigo will be away to Villarreal at Estadio de la Ceramica. Then Real Madrid at Estadio Alfredo Di Stefano will be at home to Sevilla. Monday Night Football in La Liga sees Real Betis play Granada. Then quickly in the Italian Serie A, congratulations to Internazionale. They're the new champions of the Il Campionato.
Exactly.
They have won the Scudetto.
For the first time after how many years? 9 years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Last time they won, they had Mourinho in the dugout.
Yeah.
So Antonio Conte,
Abuela.
wina Scudetto.
And I understand that he's stalling on possible contract extension because there's been mamas, Alefandalama, Falanga, Dollar. That Tottenham Hotspurs are possibly talking to Antonio Conte to come. But also Jose Mourinho, for those of you who may not have heard,
he's now coach of the Giallorossi AS Roma. Wow. All right. So Spezia play Napoli at the Alberto Piccio Stadium. Then Udinese play Bologna. Then we have Internazionale champions elect at the Giuseppe Meazza. Campione. They'll be at home to Sampdoria at the San Siro. At the Ateneo Franchi, Fiorentina La Vaiola play Lazio. Sunday night, on Sunday, at the Stadio Comunale Luigi Ferraris, Genoa plays Sassuolo. Cagliari will be away to Benevento.
Volevo kusambiri la pronunciation wa umfa Lorenzo. Continue.
Alright.
Ulelanda zaziolo. Ulipativi ulelanda zaziolo. Ule wa umfa backpage. Sasiolo. Zaziolo uli
Kumekano kumeka pakolanda.
ati Cagliari randa na futio.
So Cagliari.
Bambia baba
Benevento. So in this game will be played.
Ukula umfati Cagliari.
Landa
na futio. Ulanda stadium.
Cagliari. So Cagliari away to Benevento at the Stadio Ciro Vigorito. Then Hellas Verona play Torino. All right, then we have Parma playing Atalanta Bergamasca. Crotone will be away to Roma at the Stadio Olimpico. Then Juventus play AC Milan at 20:45.
At the San Siro.
At the Allianz Arena. All right, that's in Torino. All right, been exciting. Would like to appreciate all the calls, text messages that did come through. All right, and we're truly grateful for the comments. Pick of the week, look out for the weekend. I have less than 2 minutes, starting with Wakawe and winding up with Mfundisi here.
Pick of the week, Lorenzo. Real Madrid going down to
Chelsea. Chelsea.
Look out for the weekend. It's definitely the curtain raiser. Man City versus Chelsea.
All right, Mfundisi.
Pick out is definitely telling you many a time there will be an all-English final in the Champions League. And obviously Fashion Sakala getting to Scotland, that's a huge highlight. We look forward obviously to games that are coming ahead. Manchester United, Aston Villa for me, who's a fan, having gone into the final